name is Erol Bural. I am the Director of Research Center for Defense Against Terrorism and Radicalization, TERAM, based in Ankara, Turkey. Anatomy is the branch of science that studies the structure of living things, their organs, and the relationship between these organs. Based on the definition of the anatomy, in this book, titled Anatomy of a Terrorist Organization, Kurdistan Workers Party, we examined all the organs of PKK terrorist organization that has been operating in Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and Iran for nearly half a century. I contributed to this book with a chapter titled Social Media Propaganda of the PKK terrorist organization. So why are the PKK's propaganda activities so important? Propaganda is very important for terrorist organizations since they carry out their attacks for propaganda purposes. While terrorist organizations organize terrorist attacks to achieve their political goals, they also want to convey their messages to the masses. Terrorist organizations focus on the result of how large a mass of people are affected by the messages conveyed by the terrorist attacks, beyond the visible effects such as how many people are killed or injured as a result of those attacks. The main purpose of the propaganda activities is to announce the aims of the organization to the target audience and to create an atmosphere of fear spread throughout the population. Terrorist organizations use propaganda to create the image that the state cannot provide security and that the terrorist organization is stronger than the state. Like other terrorist organizations, the PKK attaches particular importance to the propaganda. In the early years of its establishment, the PKK terrorist organization focused on the face-to-face propaganda. Over the time, PKK turned to printed propaganda tools such as books, magazines, and newspapers. The PKK, which also broadcasts on radio and television, has also benefited from the widespread use of internet. Like other terrorist organizations that benefit from the ability of social media to reach a large part of their target audience in a very short time, the PKK also propagate on social media by its supporters. In this framework, the aim of my chapter is to examine the propaganda activities of PKK supporters throughout the social media. Although there are some studies examining the PKK's propaganda activities, there is no study that directly investigates the PKK's activities on social media. For this reason, it's considered that this chapter will fill this gap in the literature. My chapter first discusses the use of propaganda as a tool by terrorist organizations, the propaganda activities of terrorist organizations on social media, and finally the propaganda methods of the PKK on social media. In order to analyze the PKK social media propaganda, the X, I mean the Twitter, posts were analyzed using the propaganda analysis method. A sample of approximately 4,000 tweets posted in 1 year was collected by using NodeXL program. This data set analyzed in accordance with the scheme analysis method, which comprises source, content, audience, media, and effects analysis. As a result, I found that the propaganda activities of the supporters of the PKK on X were mostly prepared and disseminated by sources in the black propaganda category that concealed their true identities. The main purpose of the PKK's propaganda on social media is to create international public opinion for the release of PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan and the removal of the PKK from the list of terrorist organizations of Western countries. In short, This book chapter analyzes the propaganda of the PKK and especially its social media propaganda activities. If you want to learn PKK terrorist organization's anatomy, or if you study PKK terrorism, I do recommend you to read this book, which contains 19 valuable book chapters. I wish you all the best.